Participants from here. Open up live stream on here. Yeah, yeah. Open it up there. That works. Oh, it's actually. All right, let's go back. Want to send the post on X?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me jump on the phone real quick. We can do it from there. Actually, I can do it from there. There we go.
End of season recap.
And the season. That's what you want to call it?
I'm just clickbaiting, bro. We gotta get real
Nice, nice, nice. It's all live right now.
live now. This is my first time tweeting from my computer. I've never did this.
Really?
Yeah. See how it goes.
Season 2 has officially started.
Mm, that's good. I probably should have put that.
Man, you're active over there. I hear all those motorcycles and stuff going right now.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know.
So nah, that's all good.
Let's
All
see.
right. As people trickle on in here.
I'll give it another minute,
Yeah,
and then it's go time.
for sure. Gotta love the lives. Gotta love the lives.
Put the X. I'm gonna look at some of my tweets for material.
Yeah, yeah.
How was the start of the semester? Smooth?
Yeah, honestly, I was in class yesterday. So the introduction to the semester was smooth. So we really like we just it wasn't a rigorous day yesterday, and then today I had a new teacher training at at the like the Region South building in Gardena. So like they
Okay.
have a campus. So I went and did that today. So tomorrow I'm back at it. So tomorrow we'll do some exercises to break these kids into what is expected for this semester, and we'll see a little bit of what their capabilities are and go from there.
Awesome. There you go. A little insight
Yeah.
on the teacher side from Coach Paul.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, this teacher thing is no joke.
yeah, I
Like
can imagine.
I go to school to teach school.
Yeah. And isn't LAUSD the second or maybe first largest school district in the country?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I can only imagine how rigorous that is.
And the cool thing about it is with if you take the right steps, LAUSD right now, well, LAUSD offers if you're able to get into their internship program, they'll pay for your credential. In return, you work for the district for 2 years after you clear your credential, and that is kind of like a way to really get established and to get a free credential essentially,
Yeah.
and work while you're doing it and get paid. So LUSD has opened a lot of doors, man. I'm truly grateful for the opportunities that have been given to me and the stuff that I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
All fun, yeah.
You can, yeah. You have a this perspective of a teacher, of an employee who works for LAUSD. So you have a bit more positive side on it. Me, I'm an outsider. I could care less what LAUSD thinks of me. They definitely got to step it up on the athletics. They're very hindering
Right.
all athletic programs in my humble opinion.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess we'll just kind of segue into the show. This is season two, I guess, episode one, maybe a preseason episode. Uh,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
episode one because we had somebody scheduled that unfortunately fell ill. So Jay decided that we would come live. and
Mm.
we're gonna wing some stuff, and we may ask some people to participate in the conversation. We can invite you in and see where this goes for today. But welcome to season 2. I'm Coach Paul. That handsome young fellow over there is our co-host Jay. And welcome to the On the Map podcast, y'all. Let's get into it, Jay. What you got for us, brother? What
Yeah,
you
season
got?
two. First of all, I just want to say kudos to us making it to season two.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
yeah, I remember. I guess you. I don't even want to call it season one. You had done like 5 or 6 episodes,
Yeah,
and this is when I was kind of just started on my Twitter page, and I had noticed you, and I just sent you a DM, and then we exchanged numbers and just shot
yeah,
ideas, and just been doing this show ever since. So
yeah,
kudos to us making it to season two. And yeah, as Coach Paul mentioned, we had somebody canceled, but I was kind of in the mood to make something for you guys, some form of
yeah.
content, even if only 20 people see this. I don't care.
Right.
I love talking about a topic that I care about, that I have a passion for, which is high school sports. So yeah,
Yeah,
Coach Paul and I felt like, man, let's just wing some of it, sure, but let's just bring something out for you guys and get season two
yeah.
going because we do have big things and some big guests lined up for
Yes,
sure.
we do. Yes, we do. Um, hey, so like Jay said, last year at the beginning of it, it was just an ideal that I had where I was like, you know what, I want to highlight some kids. And Jay actually, his profile pic was DeAnthony Thomas, and I was like, the Black Mama. I was like, what? I was like, all right. And then your name was Socrates. I was like, okay. I was like, we have a troll at first, right? Like, I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
got someone trolling. But then the more we stayed in contact and the more information you gave me, man, like you just feel the vibe from somebody. And then like I said, bro, like by episode 5 I was like, yo, what's up, you want to do this with me? And 37, this will be the 37th episode going into season 2. And man, I God has blessed us both, brother. He put us both in the right place at the right time, and we
Mhm.
are now flourishing. Like you said, we have some big names. um we got some heavy
I'm
hitters this
excited. I'm
season.
excited about some of the guests that we can slash
Yeah.
may potentially get.
Yeah. Um, Let me put this disclaimer out now. There are quite a few kids that are not getting talked to this year. And the reason being is because you have next year. Um, we made some of the decisions based off of what we saw when we went to games. Obviously records, obviously performance based, but there are some kids that are on our radar. There are some kids that are honorable mentions that we are not putting on the show this year, and I know you're going to feel slighted. Me and Jay were talking about this the other day. I was like, I hope some of these kids don't get discouraged or
Mhm.
don't feel slighted in a sense. Know that you're on our radar. I promise you, just when we broke down the divisions and we broke down like player of the years, and we obviously, that's who we target first. You have 4 divisions, 5 awards each, 4 or 5 awards each. That's 16 kids right there.
Yeah.
So so we did really do our best. We have a story coming from a young man about the interview about his perseverance through his senior year, that I can't wait for us to tell this season. Um, so without further ado, we are here. We're open. We got season 2 going. So Jay, I got a major question. So you opened up the show talking about um, LA City school, like LA City, the LA Unified not being necessarily supportive of all athletics. Had a conversation with somebody today, and the sentiment was the same.
Mhm.
Um, do you think with so recently, where I'm going is recently we've had some negative things said about the city section coming from 2 reputable reporters, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention any names. If you guys have been following, you know exactly who I'm talking about. There's really only 2 whose opinion that really have mattered for this long. But they took shots at the city section. Um, can you tell us how like you feel about that and like what you think going
Yeah.
into next year should look like?
First thing I think about, honestly, I don't take it too much to heart. I know it's their job, especially one reporter. Actually, both reporters are responsible for a very large region in SoCal. I think one is
Right.
responsible for LA and another one is responsible for SoCal in general. So
Okay.
I don't expect them to know all the ins and outs of every city section team. No, that's because they're not in tune. They physically don't have the time to dive deep into every to a legacy high school. I'm just throwing a random name out there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't take anything to heart. But yeah, it is kind of, I guess, a weird feeling I can say when you see these people downplay it so much, downplay
Right.
the city section, and even when they are giving compliments, it's a backhanded compliment. A perfect
Yes.
example, I won't name the kid, but it's a D1 kid that we had playing in the city section. The guy, the Division 1 kid got brought up, and while they were talking about him, one of the reporters said, "I don't know how he ended up at a school like what insert the school
Yeah.
he's at."
Right.
I'll probably have to look more into that. So that I bring up that example because we go from talking about a kid who is going D1, who has these offers, who is a great athlete, and then the conversation quickly gets switched to, I don't know how he ended up at this school in the city section. I need to look more into.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it starts off with a compliment, which is complimenting the kid who is an amazing athlete who
Amazing.
will go to a Power 5 school. Very likely. I'm thinking he will. To, I don't know why he's playing at that school. So it's just, that's not even just those two journalists. It's just everybody in general. That's a lot of backhanded compliments. Yeah, he's there. That team's good for a city section team, or he's good for a
Right.
city team, and it's. I mean, even me, I'm fair. I'm honest. Look, is the city as what it used to be? Not even close. No,
Right.
I know that we are on a certain pedestal, but I mean, just to give these backhanded compliments or always downplay the city section is a bit unfair because we're still producing talent that can go to college, D3, NIA, D2, Division 1. Believe it or not, I mean, I made a post earlier today. The Coliseum League Excellence. Just in the last 2 years, they sent 4 guys D1, and not to a FCS school, to UCLA, UNC, these big schools, and that's in South LA, where a bunch of these, private schools slash Southern Sector schools are taking their sprinter van to pick them up, down there in South LA, down there in
Bro,
South Side.
right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I've heard. I was talking with Coach Paul earlier today on the phone. He mentioned to me that a coach says that, oh, I forgot what street it is. Can you mention the street without giving too much? Just say the street that he
No.
mentioned.
So I'm not gonna mention the street. Just know
Okay.
that it's in
Okay.
LA.
Then I'll use
Just
my
know it's
example.
in LA.
I'll
Yeah.
use my example. I was talking with another coach maybe last month, and he was like, "Yeah, I see these kids get picked up on oh, what's I'm forgetting the street, but it's Western and something, but it's in South
Okay.
Central, yeah, with the St. John Bosco hoodie." And I'm like, "Why are you going to that school? You going to that school?" "Yeah, I'm at Bosco." So it's just a lot of people downplay it, but they don't want to admit that, or not admit, because some people do admit it, but they don't want to, if you're gonna give backhanded compliments, why don't you say, "Hey, about maybe 5, 10 kids on that roster should go to a city school, should be going to a school in LA, should be going to a school in the Valley or whatnot."
Right.
So that's kind of my opinion. I know it's their job, but it's like, you have a platform like that. I'm not sure why
Right.
you continuously downplay it so
Right.
that people, because you have a lot of influence, both of these journalists that we're talking about, you have a
Right.
lot of influence. People take your word. Your word means a lot to these viewers who
Right.
maybe are not too in tune with the city section. Hey, if I'm a parent or if I'm a football player that played at a southern section school and I'm not too in tune with city section, and my only news from the city section comes from one of these journalists, and all I hear is bad, 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 negative, negative, negative,
Right.
I'm going to think like that. I'm going to say, wow, the city must be horrendous.
So my like take on that like is because like you said, all they report is the bad. Like they've come out certain reporters like well last year, well yeah, when we made the run to Chatsworth, right? To the D2 championship, like only one reporter really touched on it. Not even the second one.
Okay, yeah, I
When the
know.
second one when the second one gets involved, right? The first thing he's doing is because him and a coach were going back and forth on X and they got into a little debacle, and then he puts on the play to try to embarrass like to try to take a shot at the coach. My thing is why are you only reporting the bad about the city? There are tremendous athletes that come out of our area all the time, but you only want to report the bad. And I don't feel that's fair because, like you said, conversation I had today, street in LA, a city in LA, about 10 kids on the Sprinter van going to a school with the like going to Sierra Canyon, right? I'm not saying that, look, I don't even care. I don't. I'm one of those coaches that don't care. I don't care. But if you're going to sit up here and try to like, oh, Norbon, let's get the money guy on the show. Let's get the story from the money
Mm,
guy. What about all these other schools that have been doing it for years? You just turn a blind eye to until they get exposed and it's mainstream news.
mm-hmm.
Like, why use your platform for that? We're supposed to be elevating all of our youth as it is. Like,
Yeah,
all these young men deserve these opportunities, especially with the way the transfer portal is in college right now. Any opportunity that a college or any excuse that a college can use to not take one of our kids, they're gonna use. So why would you, like, if you put out the bad, okay, that's your job, but why not also put out the good?
yeah,
Like, one of them, the one reporter that was going back and forth with the coach about going back and forth online, why not highlight the fact that the following year, after a debacle, after the maybe one of the biggest oopses in high school football, what about one of the greatest last second plays in high school football to redeem himself in a D1 championship?
yeah,
Why not utilize your platform? Like, yeah, you know what? We did highlight this, but look at what happened a year later. Look at what they accomplished this year. And I don't see that happening. So, like, I respect both journalists because they've put in the work and they've done it. But to not find the time, I don't believe that because I've kind of went and looked, and one journalist goes as far as writing reports on athletes in other states. So if you could do highlights about people in other states and other sports in other states, I think you can, especially because you're a local guy. I think you can dive deeper into the LA City section, and you can actually help promote city football.
yeah. You can help for sure. And also, like, I respect, like, even with what I just said, I still respect them to the utmost. I still admire their work. They've been in the one of them has been in the game for 40, 50, the journalist game, because you could call it 40, 50
Yeah,
years. So I still respect them to the utmost. It's just, I feel like, I mean, give us a compliment once in a while. I'm not asking for you to every report be on city section. No, no, but every once in a while. I mean, you put out the last report I remember from one of the journalists was the Narbonne situation. Everybody covered that, and that's a good kind of rollover because I do want to speak on that in a little bit. But I
okay.
will give credit. One of the other journalists that we're mentioning, he does cover city section more. I will give him that, but it is a little more negative too. But I mean, I guess it is coverage. I guess, but I don't know.
Bro, wait till one of our guests comes on and kind of explains the situation that was spun one-sided by one of the journalists when that wasn't even the case that took place, Jay. Like, I've talked to this coach, and I'll let him tell his side of the story,
Okay.
if he chooses to when we get on here. But let me tell you, like, the way it was told online was not the way it was like it
Mhm.
was handled.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, like, some people because they have the platform shouldn't just use it because they're upset or they disagree with something to put a negative light on something when, as we know, there's two sides to every story, and because you have the platform, your side gets told, and it gets told louder than the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting in the high school world, but yeah, I mentioned the Narbonne situation. I kind of I don't necessarily condone what Brett, or when I for the viewers, I feel like everybody knows who he is, but just in case, when I mention Brett, that's the money man, the so-called money man. And
Yeah.
just a quick side note before that, when all of this was blowing up on the news articles and the YouTube channels and Twitter, it was a weird feeling because I feel like everybody in the city, or at least people who were tuned into the city, were like, "Wow, you guys are just finding out. Like this has been going on for this many years." So that was so weird that now it's so mainstream,
Uh,
and now it's getting numbers, and now everybody cares about it, and now it's a domino effect, and now Southern Section is cracking down on more transfers. So it's
right,
interesting. But the Narbonne situation as a whole, and the whole Brett thing, I see both sides. To be honest, I see the sides of the kids who had to play against these Narbonne teams who, let's say, went to a San Pedro, went to a Carson, were in the Marine League, and had to play these kids who were paid this amount to go there, who got flown in from out of state. I know, I forget his name, but he was a big time recruit, and this was one of the original Narbonne teams. So like 2018, 17,
okay,
from Florida, straight from Florida. So if I'm a kid who just goes to Carson High because it's my neighborhood school, and I see this dude from Florida flown in 4 or 5 star, and I gotta go up against them, so I see that, and yeah, like I'm not condoning it. What they did was illegal. What Brett did was illegal. You can't pay kids in high school to transfer to your school. You
right,
can't, do certain things. You can't give parents. You can't give false addresses. That's illegal. But
right.
I also see Brett's side a little bit when he says everybody was mad that I did it, but they don't notice all these other schools do it.
So let
There's
me ask you a
so
question.
what's up?
Let
Yeah.
me ask you a question. So Brett, like we talked about earlier, we both see Brett's side. So let me ask you a question. If me and you did not play sports and we wanted to go to St. John Bosco, what do you think our like we would have to pay what? Tuition, right?
Yes.
Right. So by you being an athlete from a different area and I'm offering you a scholarship, isn't that considered that's considered paying their tuition, right?
Yes.
That's their tuition's covered. The private school system already has an advantage because they have the means and the pipeline to the resources that city section schools don't have.
Yeah. You can't give college
No,
scholarship money in the city.
nobody says anything when every single team in the Trinity League, Trent Servite just got a new quarterback, was a transfer from God knows where. Look, if anybody's asking what Coach Paul's stance is on transferring, if you move, if you transfer, however you do it, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, you still have to play football, right? But I want it to be an equal playing field. I want it to be an equal playing field. And that was the difference between what Brett did and what I'm talking about. Now,
Yeah.
if there's a kid that lives in between me and you, Jay, and he just wants to pick a school based on merit, cool. Now, if you tell him, look, I'll give you 15 grand to come to my school, I don't have 15 grand to give a kid.
Yeah.
But all them schools on the other side, I can give you a free education and throw in some perks. Oh, and I can send a Sprinter van to your house so you don't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
that fair?
It's a business, man. Like Sprinter vans. Like I see kids from Watts going to school in San Bernardino. I don't even know where. Okay, I do know where that is, but who wants to go to San Bernardino? And it's a business, and credit to them, Trinity League, Southern Section, they know how to do business when it comes to high school football. That's why they've been at the top for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you mentioned it, like I don't know the numbers, but I wonder how many kids on that roster, on any Trinity League roster, pick any of those teams, get sprinted. That sounds like a weird word. Get a sprinter van to the front of the house and get dropped off. And that's not even just LA. Like there's probably kids from the Valley or San Diego or more IE that get bussed in.
If you take if you were to go look at a certain school and see where certain kids used to live, right? We'll give you guys the
The
benefit of
fake
the doubt.
addresses.
We'll give you the benefit of the doubt, right? You used to live. If you take them and put them back in their old community, in their own home school, what would that school look like? I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure there's a bunch of kids from the Jordan Down projects that get plucked from Jordan that are at different schools that if they
Yeah.
all went to Jordan, watch out. They'd be the Jordan of old running amok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's. Hmm.
you have to just make it fair. Like if you're gonna crack down on one school, like if you're gonna make an example out of a school, yes, the money thing that you can't argue that.
Yeah. It's in
But
there.
if there's schools that are attracting kids, like why would you penalize the kid or penalize the school because
Mhm.
other people are frowning upon it? Maybe you should do better at making your program attractive to kids.
Yeah. True.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And
but
I.
the
Sorry. Go
go ahead.
ahead. Because I was gonna kind of
Nah.
dive into a different point.
So like my thing is like, yeah, it is a business, but at the end of the day, like it's really about these kids and giving these kids the opportunity. And the more like we're treating it, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we man, some parents have ruined football, dog. Like that's all I could say.
Yeah. Some parents will
Like they
shop their
made
kid.
yeah, and they made this into a business, and it's not even in the business of like some of it's what's best for my kid, but some of it too is like, what can you do for me right now?
Hmm.
And it sucks at the times we're in. Like, I just hope that if they come down with the rule and like I was talking to a coach today and we were talking about how Hawkins has turned around and they're still fighting that stigma, but they're stained. We're
Yeah.
talking about how Norbon's faced with that stuff and that based off of things that are coming like down the pipeline for them, that hopefully they're able to get reinstated because they now have been able to rebuild their program. And hopefully, like not to be a spoiler, hopefully we get Coach Bledsoe on here. I spoke with him. I was able to speak with him and he said he would be willing to sit down and talk to us so he can give us some insight about how the rebuild process is and how the stain stays with it. But let's be honest, like everybody everybody knows what's going on. Nobody cares really. It's just there's people that get upset because it doesn't benefit them, so they go waving red flags everywhere. Let's be honest. Because if it was your school that was getting the 3-star transfer from a private school, like you wouldn't care. You wouldn't make backhanded compliments, right? Like you'd be like, well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
But
It's a
that's
business,
where
like yeah, and there's blame to go around everywhere. Like you mentioned briefly, parents. Like I mentioned, some parents will deliberately shop their kids. Like, hey, give me this amount, and we'll transfer. Schools will go out to these youth camps, to these Pop Warner teams. Because like I know Trinity League has a hold on the OC Buckeyes and the Ducks, the or LA Ducks or whatever
OG
that
Ducks, OG
OG
Ducks.
Ducks. Yeah, and they have it like this. The Trinity League has those teams on lockdown. That's why so many of these eighth graders are like posting, "Oh, I will be attending Santa Margarita." Oh,
I'll be attending Servite.
they're an OG Duck. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
And yeah, also I want to give credit to the schools who were, I guess, not necessarily bashing on, but criticizing. They do a
Yeah.
good job promoting their program because not everybody's on their team is getting sprinted from LA, from IE. No, I'm sure they attract a lot of kids naturally. A lot of kids in that area will want to go there. Oh, I want to go to a Santa Margarita. They just won the championship for the first time in 13, 12 years. First time a school
Mhm.
not named Mater Dei or Bosco won it. So
Mhm.
credit to them. They promote the hell out of their programs as well. And like Corona Centennial and Chaparral, they're doing a winter showcase. No school has ever done it. Well, not ever, but it's not really popular. It's always like a spring or a summer showcase for these colleges, and they're doing it
Mhm.
in the winter. That's a perfect example of how they promote their program legally in a fair way. I can
Yeah.
only imagine how many Division One, Division college coaches in general. I can only imagine how many college coaches will be there. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the transfer game is crazy. It kind of changing the topic a little bit with the start of the new semester. Do expect more on my side, on my tweets, LA City section on Twitter or X. Just transfers in general. I know one of the big rumors looming around is where 4-star Oklahoma commit DeMar DeZern will go. I'm not here to break any news or nothing, but a lot of people are talking about it. Journalists, parents, teammates, etc., etc. And it's
Yeah.
interesting. Obviously, I really have no clue where he'll go. I do have a school in mind. I will go ahead and say it. You don't have to comment anything. I think it's
Don't,
going.
don't, 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 don't.
Okay, well,
Trust me.
Coach Paul
Don't.
knows where I think he's going, but
Yes, don't.
I think he's going to this one school. If not, then so be it. But yeah, it's interesting where he'll go because it was weird to see a kid of that caliber, 4 star, on Rivals on 24/7. You search him up, you'll see his profile. Broke the freshman 100 meter, and he's transferred to city school. So it was really cool to see him for a year. To be honest, I went to 2 games and man, dynamite in a bottle. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind
I
of
hope
that's
he
kind of what
stays.
happened.
I hope he stays. I
Yeah, he
hope
might
him and his
stay.
family
Yeah,
doesn't move. I hope they
yeah.
don't move.
We'll see. We'll see what his family decides to do, but there's a chance he stays. You know, Palisades is coming off an open division first time in I'm not sure when. You know, Coach Smith has to run it up down there. They have talent there. They always have. They have good athletes. It'll be interesting to see who they replace Jack Thomas with, their QE, the ball spinner.
Yeah.
We'll see if they have a really good underclassman or maybe a ninth grader that's going to come in. So that's one of the kind of small headlines to keep an eye out for in the city section. I did post a tweet today, just kind of want covered a little more. Coliseum League excellence. I wrote, the Coliseum League has produced the most Division One players in the LA City section in recent years, and then I posted a graphic with it, and then I pictured our Mike McDonald, UCLA commit, Andrew Williams, USC commit, LaShawn Jackson, Utah Tech, commit, and Chinedu Onyegoro, who played at UNC last season, but he's currently in the transfer portal. Oh, and this brings me up to a little small point that I did forget to mention. I know we're kind of bouncing between topics, or I am at least. When we talk about these kids getting poached per se from these big schools, I want you guys, the viewers, and even you, Coach Paul, to kind of think about who are some of the biggest recruits in the last 2, 3, 4 years to come out of the city section? I'll bring up 2 names for you, and I'll bring these 2 names up for a reason. The first one, these two I just talked about. It's Chinedu Onyegoro, who played at King Drew, and Andrew
Mhm.
Williams, who played at Fremont. Why I bring those 2 names up is I used to see tweets or things in articles saying it's rare to see a player of this caliber at this city section school. Things along of that matter. And why I bring
Mhm.
these 2 names up is they weren't poachable. Schools didn't have the chance to poach them. These big schools in the Southern Sex, they didn't because they didn't play in middle school. They didn't play Pop Warner. Chinadu played basketball. Coach Torres told us that he recruited him from the basketball team. Coach Torres told us he was kind of King Drew was kind of pushing for him. He went to a basketball game. He saw Chinadu Onyegoro on the fast break, dunk the ball. Coach Torres asked,
Uh-huh.
"Who's that?" And he was like, "I'll take the job." And Andrew Williams never touched a football prior to ninth grade. A coach sees 6'4", 6'5" on campus and recruits him. So these 2 big names that have come out of city section schools, Fremont and King Drew, both in LA, these kids weren't in Pop Warner programs, so they quite literally weren't poachable. So
Okay.
I just, if you take that away, like all these other kids are just getting poached and poached and poached, and it's very rarely do you see kids of that caliber stay. So that is a small point that I did forget to mention. Even though we already moved past that topic, but yeah, Coliseum League is pretty underrated. I didn't know to be honest, I didn't know they produced that much D1 talent. Kind of just skimmed past me, and I know King Drew has a guy or had a guy, O lineman at a HBCU, and another guy at a University of San Diego. Their names are escaping me, but yeah, that's 2 more to King Drew, 2 more to the Coliseum League. So yeah, it's very interesting when you think about that.
Yeah, like some of the D1 kids that I think about, like you had T3, right? You had Terriante Taylor out of Southgate that went to Colorado State. But he's not there anymore. Like now my next question is like you have Chinadu, like you have some of these kids that make it and they stay. So are some of the kids that have made it that didn't stay, like could that be why we don't have the success that other leagues have had?
Yeah,
Maybe just because like Coliseum League, it's like every other year, man. Like they got a guy going big time.
yeah.
Like Mark,
This year was
yeah, like
Andrew Williams. Last year, Chinadu. Yeah,
yeah. Like I would say on this side of town, like the only major FBS people that I know on this side is Elijah Staples.
Yeah, and he's the next big guy for the city in general. He's the 27.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
Elijah
the next
Staples.
big guy. Demar. I know you told me how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry, man. Like Coach Paul sucks at this, man. Like he's at Oklahoma, but he's on that side. Like I, 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 I don't know what it is, man. Like this side's we gotta do a better job of like repping our kids. But maybe we've put out some kids that just it didn't work out,
Mhm.
so therefore they don't really like come knocking at our door as much. But let me tell you something: Elijah Staples is the next big guy, next big thing on this side of town.
Mhm.
Um, but you have to look at you have kids like Chris Fields. Chris Fields is a, I guarantee you, Chris Fields gets some major offers this year. Major offers. Did you see the video of him repping 225?
I did. My shoulder started to hurt. I was like,
My
man.
guy was out there getting it, man. He was just pumping up the weight. So Chris Fields got the measurables to go Power Five. Go, yeah. Honestly, Chris Fields could go Power Five. Mike Gonzalez, if he has another standout year, Mike can go. He can go to a lower FBS, a smaller FBS school, just because of his size, right? He could go to any FCS school, but I could see Mike going to a D2 school and killing it at a D2 school and then making his way. The one person that I can see doing anything imaginable is Nicholas Fonseca.
Mhm.
Like his size is the only thing that's probably keeping certain schools away from
Yeah,
him right
for
now.
sure.
But there's gonna be a school out there that come next year is gonna be like, dude, we gotta take a chance because this kid is a playmaker. And all you need is a school to just give you an opportunity to go put film, and then you can make your next move. Um, I also think of Fonnie Lewis, man. The kid's got all the tangibles. Kid
Interesting.
6'2". Every time every time he catches the ball, like if he catches a screen, you see what he could do. The boy can get loose, man. Um, that's on this side. Like you have like I'm excited to see what Squiddy Johnson does healthy next year. Um, I think that young man's got some very good potential. Clean up some things mechanically. Mechanically, I think if he cleans up some stuff, um, the kid's got a very bright future. Very bright future. Um, we lost we lost Rivera, so he's now at another school. So he's not a
Rivera,
potential.
Mike Compton,
He's a
yeah.
D1 guy, but he's no longer in our area. Um, yeah, so like Legacy has some athletes that could potentially make some noise, but we would have to see what that team does like holistically, to see if those boys are given that opportunity to shine. Like you can't teach height, man, and they Legacy is known for having these kids that are like 6'3", 6'4", so
Mhm.
they have those tangibles. So for this side of town, man, like I think the opportunities will come. I just hope that us as a city section and as a culture, we push for these kids to get like to get that recognition. Like Nate Cadet, man, like that's a kid that you would never like you wouldn't expect something like that
Yeah,
from that young man. And this young man came out and he put himself on the map.
yeah.
So that's a kid that's a QB that for sure I know that could succeed at the next level for sure. Bro, I'm excited to see what. Yeah, well, they're not on this side of town, but they're close enough. I'm excited to see what King Drew does, man.
Yeah,
Like Torres with Chinadu and Jamir Torres.
yeah. John, I didn't mention him. Yep.
Jamir Torres going to the next level, New Mexico State, right? It's New Mexico State, or is it New Mexico?
I think it's
He's
New
in New
Mexico.
Mexico.
It's New Mexico. It's New Mexico.
Okay, and then you have Chinadu, right? Like King Drew has started a path for the D1 pipeline. They just they just started 3 levels of football. Like they have enough
Yeah.
kids to do 3 levels of football. And the great thing is didn't you tell me that you saw on their schedule they're going to a school
Oh, you can say
somewhere?
it. Coach Torres tweeted himself.
They're going to the East Coast to play St. Francis, right?
Yep, the Max Preps National Champ of the Year, St. Francis Academy in Baltimore. King Drew in LA will play them.
Bro, you have Carson going down.
San
They
Diego.
haven't. They're going to San
They
Diego. Okay,
announced
so
it.
they
They
did
announced
announce it.
it.
So they're playing Lincoln. Like you have these city schools that are like taking these swings at these
Yeah.
teams. You have Southgate putting the Los Altos on. They put Muir on their thing. They put Salesian on their schedule. Like
Yeah, like
no, they
that's
put Warren. Sorry, they put Warren. I said Muir. My fault. They put Warren. So they got Los Altos. They have La Mirada, Los Altos, Warren.
and Muir, I'm pretty sure.
No, it's Salesian. They got Salesian.
Division? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
you have these teams that are getting these athletes and they're developing them, and they're swinging for the fences. So we have, as a city section, we have to make sure, excuse me, that we're supporting our kids, man. Like
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
for sure. City section is on the up and up, and I genuinely mean it.
Bless you.
Coach Paul mentioned
Bless
it.
you.
Bless you from my side as well.
Oh, Jay
Coach,
says bless you too.
Coach Paul mentioned that we have these teams who are taking on very good teams. Southgate has an all Southern section non-league. Birmingham will have a non-section, all Southern section non-league as well. They do it every year. It's just a fact. Their schedule's not out, but they do it every year. Like you mentioned, Carson is gonna go down to San Diego and take on California powerhouse Lincoln. As you mentioned as well, King Drew's going to go to the East Coast and take on the national Max Preps national champ. When have you heard of a city school playing a school of that caliber? Um, Hamilton, my guy Elijah Asante, Coach Paul knows, you guys know that's my guy. They're gonna go and play Los Alamitos. They're gonna play Loyola, and I know Coach Asante is looking to fill those last two games with powerhouses. So who knows who else he'll schedule? So we're on the Carson. We already mentioned them on the up and up. So interested to see a lot of games that I'm gonna want to attend in 7 8 months. But yeah, city section's on the rise. I'm very interested in King Drew as well because they are gonna play national champ. They do have 3 levels of football, and now they're starting
Yeah,
to reap the benefits because it's year 2 of this. You're gonna have some kids who are now ready for varsity. You're gonna have kids transferring. You're gonna have kids accepted into that school because let's not mention
mm-hmm.
the thing about King Drew is they are a medical magnet. So a lot of these
Medical magnet.
parents
Yep.
are gonna, hey, I'm just gonna send my kid to King Drew because they're a medical magnet. They have a program that I really like that I want to enroll my kid in. So King Drew is naturally getting more kids. So they are a recipe for success. And I have super high expectations for them.
Yeah.
We'll see how many kids get accepted into that school, transferring, how many JV guys are now ready, physically actually ready for the varsity level and whatnot. So
Yeah.
King Drew is definitely up there with programs to watch. Them, Carson, Hamilton, I would say as well to watch. Southgate as well could probably sneak into the Open next year. So
Yeah.
it's good
Like,
times for the
don't
city.
forget. Well, like I know we haven't really mentioned like the top dog that like got kind of not knocked off the porch, but kind of startled off the porch. You know, like when you like when the puppy will creep up on the big dog and "Roof," and the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
dog just kind of startled it, but falls off the porch. Right? Birmingham is going to be here. Birmingham produces top programs, top athletes. Like, don't sleep. Like, if you think that any team is coming back with any kind of vengeance next year, you guys better stay out of Birmingham's way
yeah.
because Birmingham is coming. They hadn't lost how many games to a city section team in how many years until this Norbon thing, and then then to Crenshaw, it's not happening.
No.
I know for a fact it left a bad taste in their mouth, and they're gonna come.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to come and wreck shit. They
Yeah.
are.
At the very least,
Um.
Birmingham will always be competitive. At the very least,
Yeah.
I can never see a world they finish anywhere below like a 6 seed in open division. Never.
Right. I forgot to highlight one kid that we're going to reach out to, but you know who I'm surprised doesn't have any offers, and it reminds me of the bell of Eric Stubbs from
No.
last year. How did, other than his injury, how is a kid 6'3", 225 pounds, runs the ball 40 times in a game, scores 5 touchdowns, not have any freaking offers? None. That is your that's your prototype running back. Like that's an ideal running back to have.
Yeah.
Like that baffles me that this kid, this young man, does not have any offers, any that is
And,
being promoted.
and for the viewers, do you want to give the name away? Who you're talking about?
Oh, I said Cesar Reyes. Cesar
Reyes.
Reyes.
She's
Yeah,
rated 6'3". I thought he was like
he's
5'11".
6'2". No, he's like six, bro. He's like 6'1". Dude's huge.
Yeah.
He's not. He's not a small. He's not a small Hispanic kid, bro. He is a big boy. So is Eric Stubbs. Like any running back that's 6 feet or taller, that's 225 moving, that's D1. That is a D1 stature running back, bro. And you're telling me he ran the ball for he ran 40 attempts and 5 touchdowns. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
You know
He
who
has
did that the last time that I heard of?
who?
Mark Henry.
Do you
Or
mean Derrick
no,
Henry?
Derrick Henry. Yeah, not sexual chocolate. Derrick Henry. My fault. Derrick Henry did it in high school. Like
Yeah.
we gotta give these kids their love and their shine. And when there's a kid like that in your own backyard, and your boss, your the title of your paper says L.A. Times, like how is this kid not in your time? Like how's he not a headline? I
Yeah.
think maybe he subtweeted it or he highlighted, but like how's this kid not in your thing all the time?
I
All the
think
time.
I think well, one, he does have a D2 offer, so we know at least D2s are paying attention. I know he can play higher at a higher level than that. But two, I think he doesn't do the and I'm talking about Cesar Reyes, he doesn't do the best job at promoting himself. I remember for the longest time he was private up until a few months ago. And I don't care how good you are, you're not gonna get recruited if your account is private. But yeah, that doesn't change the fact that he's super slept on, that he was the number one rusher in in the city section, and he's not really getting recruited like that. Garfield has to push him more, and like also too, Garfield, they're a historic program, yes, but I'm gonna kind of bunch them into like the Crenshaw when I say like, dare I say they don't promote their players that well, Crenshaw and Garfield, in my
But
opinion,
what?
from what I've seen.
No, you're absolutely right, man. You're right. But okay, so who does that fall on? So I put up coach's thing. Beham will definitely be ready next season.
What up,
We already
SD?
know.
What up?
Um, but why is it that so then why is it that they're not promoted like that? Why are these coaches not promoting their kids, but the first chance that they can get, like, oh, we enrollment's down, we don't have enough kids. Well, I hate to say it, if you promoted kids like you did the Black Mamba, DeAnthony Thomas, I think your enrollment rate would be up there, bro. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would say Crenshaw for sure. I put more emphasis on why don't they promote their own players. Garfield to a lesser extent, but even on Garfield's side, like their head coach is not on Twitter from what I know. No assistant coaches follow me except one guy who I think uses his personal account. And the only reason I
okay,
know it is because he's holding like a trophy and he has Garfield on. Like there's no
okay.
coaches spamming me, spamming LA Times, spamming Rivals, spamming Greg
Hey,
Biggins.
so
Cesar Reyes,
Vargas
Cesar
doesn't have
Reyes.
he doesn't have an X account.
An official one that promotes Garfield in his high school? No, that I know of. If he
Okay,
does, it's maybe a personal or he's like low key about it. And if you as a head coach, in my opinion, decide, hey, I'm not social media, I'm old school, whatever, I think that's fine. But you gotta
no.
put on your assistant coaches at least.
Nah,
Like,
no,
tell me,
no,
man.
that's not okay anymore. There's no more being Dabo Sweeney of high school. Like
Mm,
Dabo refuses to go to the transfer portal, right? In college football. That's why Clemson has fallen off. You know how many kids don't play football but want to be part of the team? Look, you're going to be in charge of our Twitter account. You're going to be our social media guy. You know how many kids would love that responsibility? They already go make one of the water girls that aren't really water girls that just show up so they can get out of class or just be around the team. Make them the account manager.
Hmm.
There's no excuse for us as a school, as a city, to not have social media accounts. There's no excuse anymore, Jay. There's not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That old school stuff is not an excuse. Not just like in football, we have to adapt to the times and we have to change our game plans based on the game that's being played, right?
Yeah.
You want kids to come to your school, you want kids to be acknowledged, you have to adapt to the times. Let's see. Let's put this up. I think this is a good. I think sometimes proper promotion is something that takes coaches knowing how to properly do. So encouraging the kids to be active on X and social platforms to where you can press. Yes, that
Yeah.
is
I was gonna bring
also
that up.
something. That is also a very valid point. These kids, these kids should be able to have. They should do it too. Exactly. They
For
should be
sure. For
active.
sure.
I was active in my own recruitment, but you know what it is too. Some of these schools, I've been witness to it. They can get a camera guy, and some of the head coaches are against the camera. Well, what do we need this for? What do we need that for?
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
they're trying to get those resources. They're trying to do these things that necessarily you don't have time to do. And exactly, sometimes coaches don't have time to do it, but you need to be able to allot these kids the ability to do it. Make an account, and you have a team manager. That's your team manager's job. Hey, once a week you're going to come in, you're going to get these clips from Huddle that we need you to get, and you're going to promote the kid. You're going to clip, you're going to tag these people, you're going to do this.
Yeah.
It, trust me, there's kids that sit up here and play Clash Royale all day in class. You're telling me you can't give them a responsibility that's something to help lead to a future? And do you know they could put that on their college resume? I was a team manager. I ran a social media page. I did this, and now it'll help them in a sense too. That's just my take on it, Jay. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
like times have changed, man,
For
and
sure.
and some of these younger coaches need to preach to the older coaches too. Like, hey, let me take that off your plate. Let me do it. Like,
Yeah.
let me do that. And some of the older coaches need to be able to loosen up a little and be able to
Yeah.
give the reins to some of these younger coaches and allow them to do that because it's only going to benefit your program in the end.
Yeah. For sure. And we got Coach D again. He said, building relationships with these coaches that step foot on campus so that you have more access that helps your program grow and help and get kids opportunities. Yeah, that's definitely like we say social media, but the absolute best way to make a relationship is a coach stepping on campus for sure. But I mean,
Facts.
yeah, for sure. Like if you see Colorado State, JUCO, any school in general, JUCO to D1, that's the best way to build relationships. But yeah, I just think the social media, like there's some schools and there's like other like we just mentioned, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There's schools that pride themselves on being a good team, on getting kids out, and then when I hear them say, "Oh, it's a struggle to get kids out. It's a struggle to attract kids." Promote your team. Promote the football. Have a football page, like you said, or get a manager. Tell your kids you don't have to. You can't force your players to make an X if they don't. Hey, coach, I just don't want to play college. That's fine. But
That's one thing.
the players who, hey, coach, I want to play college or I'm thinking about it. The first thing you should tell them: make a X, make a huddle, follow a template from online or from other profiles, height, weight, school, whatever, and post your highlights. That should be the bare minimum. And like
Don't forget your NCAA number, your clearinghouse,
ID, yeah,
because
NCAA
yeah.
ID, yeah. And I
So like
remember, yeah. Go
like
ahead.
my thing, my oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like my thing about that is right. Oh man, I completely forgot what I was gonna say because you're right. Some of these kids don't want to do the social media thing,
Yeah,
but if you teach the kids the basics, like, oh, okay, I remember what I was gonna say. I can't want it more. Also, you can't sit up here and sell a kid a dream and then not want to make that possible. You could ask my wife. There was nights that I have almost every college on an Excel spreadsheet that I went on and I emailed starting from D3 hit all the D3 schools, went to NAI schools, sending out my kids' film. Just like, hey, if you're in need of somebody, take a look at this kid. I would get responses. You have to be able to do the legwork.
Yeah.
Like, hit up coaches. And but sometimes too, some coaches feel like, oh, I'm not gonna do this for this kid. You gotta remember too, some of these kids are kids, man. They're barely figuring stuff out.
Hmm.
I remember being 16 and thinking shit was sweet, right? Like I didn't know the back end of stuff. Like I was wet behind the ears, man. Like
Yeah.
some of these kids are still growing up. So yes, you have to be able to do that leg work for them because then it builds that relationship, like Coach D was saying. Like you can get coaches to your school by putting in that extra effort, and then it opens up the doors. Like I know the Torres is, I know the Coach D's, I know the Coach Humphreys is of the world. Like I know there's coaches that go to the ends of the earth
Yeah.
to get these boys looked at. I had Coach Humphreys reach out to me about Southgate kids from one of his connects. Like, hey, I have somebody coming down to look at my kids. They asked about certain other kids that are in the area. Who do you recommend that I have them talk to? And I shot him a straight response like, this is the kid I think that this school should talk to. He's got these tangibles and I think he'd be willing to listen to the consideration. And he said, "Cool." And then I text the kid like, "Hey, look out for this school because this so and so is going to send him your way." Like there are coaches that go to the ends of the earth and don't gatekeep. They'll be like, "Oh, we got two kids at Southgate. We got a kid at Bell. You need to go check out."
Yeah. Promote, promote, connections, 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 promote. Like you gotta promote.
Wow.
Like a good example, real quick, of promoting. Right. Everybody knows Asante, Coach Asante at Hamilton. He would tag continue not just me, Eric Sonnenheimer, Terry McCall,
Everybody.
everybody. He would tag everybody to the point where he was able to get an article written about his quarterback, Thaddeus Bro. Now, given Thaddeus Bro already had the buzz, he was already, he was an OG Duck, as we mentioned earlier, one of these top Pop Warners. But still, he was nagging, 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 tagging everybody in the SoCal high school football scene. Somebody took notice. Somebody big, Tarek Fatal, took notice, made an article about him. Even went out to a Hamilton game, probably the only city section game he went to all year, besides the city section final, and
Did he
tweeted.
even go? I don't even think he went. Was he watching it on
No, he went. He went. He was on the
he went?
sideline. Credit to
All
Tarek
right.
Fatal. He went to Gardena Serra versus Hamilton. Uh, it was a
Okay.
blowout, so he probably shouldn't have gone to that game. But still, like
All
that's
right.
what I mean. That's just an example of promoting your kids. Now, obviously, like is every program gonna have a Thaddeus Bro at quarterback? No. But if you promote, 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 the point is that somebody will take notice. Somebody, a coach, a reporter, somebody of importance will take notice.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of all I got. Do you have any big news in the city? Any overarching ideas heading into the new season or reflecting on the past season you want to cover?
I'm kind of waiting to see how this coaching carousel goes, right? Like
Yeah, I have it pulled
there's
up. Yeah.
some there's some schools that have some openings that I'm very interested to see who fills those positions.
Hmm.
Um
I
in the
I could give you the
background.
list. I could give you the list.
Yeah, you could go over the list. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the list, and this is all from Chris Four. I'm pretty sure it's just Chris Four on Twitter. He has a spreadsheet of all openings in SoCal. So this is Southern LA.
What's the name of his website? Isn't it
The
called
website is called Eight, spelled out, so EIGHT, eightlaces.org.
Laces? Yeah, there you go.
Eightlaces.org if you want to find the spreadsheet that I'm looking at. But I'll just list the names that are on his LA on his spreadsheet that are specifically for LA City. So his first job that he posted was LA Jordan. They dismissed James Boyd, and there's a whole debacle behind that, which I won't get into
Right.
or air out on here. But they hired Leonard Mc McConico as an interim
Okay.
head coach. Don't know anything about him. I'm not even sure if he's still there because he put interim. So
Okay.
as of right now, Leonard is the head coach at LA Jordan. The second one is Canoga Park, a school local to me, about a mile away.
Okay.
Luscious Mills was the head coach. He resigned, and now there's a opening for that job that hasn't been filled as of today, according to the spreadsheet.
Okay.
The third one is Grant High School in Van Nuys. Um, what's his name? Franco S. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Coach S resigned, and the opening is still there. So Grant High School has an opening for
Okay.
head coach. And one that we already knew, Luda Montenegro at LA Wilson resigned. So LA Wilson
Right.
has a head coach opening as of today. And the last one is Pauley High School, which is in Sun Valley, so like the corner of the LA, of the San Fernando Valley.
One
Daryl
more.
Daniels
Torres.
resigns.
Torres
Yeah,
is on there.
yeah. Torres High
I
School.
yeah. So I was because I was looking at the list today, and I looked up where so Torres started off as an 8 man because I was like,
Yeah,
where is the Elizabeth Torres is on there? It's an open like yeah. So I was trying to figure out like what's this school, right? Like where did they?
yeah.
Yeah, so they are at the bottom towards the Belmont League, right? They're in the Belmont League.
Hmm.
They're in the same league as Belmont. It says that they needed a head coach. So the only reason I know is because I was looking around.
Yeah. So there's a couple jobs. Poly, Canoga Park, Wilson, interesting jobs to take. To be honest, apart from Wilson, we're not really too connected to any of those programs. We'd love to connect any coaches, viewers, spectators.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's kind of just openings in regards to LA City so far. In terms of these big teams, a lot of these teams seems like they have their future ahead, like secure, like Carson. Their coaching staff will be there for a while. Asante,
Right.
Hamilton, Birmingham has had Rose there for 15, I don't even know how many years, 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Southgate's good. Like, yeah, in terms of coaching drama, coaching carousel per se, Southern section has us beat by a lot. Unfortunately, guys, there's just not too much drama when it comes to these coaching carousels in the LA city, at least. In
Uh,
terms of just news in general, that's kind of all I have. It's been pretty quiet. It's a pretty quiet winter compared to last winter. Granted,
and
yeah.
I think it's gonna stay quiet.
Mm,
Um, I think I think the news that does break will be the news from us, right? Like from our resources, like our sources,
mm,
because they know that we're not biased, that we're not gonna come out and be like, "Hey," or if they tell us, "Hey, wait to post it," they know that we'll wait to
yeah.
post it. Um, but like when you mentioned the coaching carrot, like the coaching openings, like it's gonna be very interesting because there are some coordinators out there that
Mm.
I think that think that they
Attracting
may
some
be able to
eyeballs.
yeah, that maybe there's some doors knocking for some coordinators and some position
For
coaches
sure.
from certain schools that are reaching out and trying to see like, hey, what are your thoughts about like being the head coach at our school and stuff like that. So that's very interesting, um, to say the least, right? Like I'm pretty sure depending on who ends up landing some of those jobs in the location, what could be look at Asante got put at Hamilton, and he, what did he say? He attracts talent, right?
Yeah, he doesn't
Um,
recruit, he attracts.
so if you get the right person at the right school
Yep.
and the right location, the attraction could come. So you may have a school like Wilson turn right back around.
Hmm.
You could have a school like Grant turn right back around.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm very interested to see that. But I think this winter is going to be very quiet until some of those spots are filled.
Yeah.
Um, and to then you'll start seeing moves. But even then, I think it's still going to be on the hush, kind of, just because of the crackdown, or I don't want to say tattletelling because I don't think anybody tattletales, but like
Yeah.
all the griping and crying about certain stuff. Like recently, I put out tweets like, "Look, dude, play the hand you're dealt. Stop complaining about it.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna get any. It's not. I hate to say it's not gonna get any better. Like they're gonna do these crackdowns. They're gonna do like you have the death penalties on schools like Narbonne. Um, like that's the most that they're gonna do unless they crack down
Yeah.
on everybody. We're still gonna have it. So rather than cry about it, be about it, and let's make something happen.
Yeah. Get the dead penalty out of the way. We're probably gonna wrap this up pretty soon, but yeah, I will say a side point that I forgot to mention while we were talking about Narbonne 40 minutes ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they'll be okay.
Oh, I think they'll be just fine.
Hawkins got held a very tough hand with just how new that school was when those
Yeah,
sanctions happened and the area they're in a to be quite frank, they're in a pretty rough area. Narbonne, on the other hand, they're in Harbor City, which is borders the Long Beach area, and you know how many athletes Long Beach has. And there's a track record. There's a track record. And I say this because when the first sanctions happened in 2018, 2019, they were banned. COVID hits 2021, right? They're placed in D3. My team in high school plays against that newly fresh out of suspension Narbonne in the D3 playoffs, and we beat them by one touchdown. The next year they make it to D1. I think they lose in the first round. So that's 2022, okay? 2023, they make it to the Open Division, 8 seed. Play Birmingham. Birmingham did what they do. It was a blowout, and then the next year is when the money man apparently came in. But apart from that year, that was 3 years going from D3, D1 Open with no recruiting, with no money man with no money involved. The talent is there. The area will get kids. Doug Bledsoe is his name, not Drew. Doug Bledsoe, the head coach at Narbonne now.
Okay.
I don't know too much about him yet. I'd love to get him on the show, but I mean, I feel
Oh,
like it's
he's
not
gonna be
hard.
on. He's gonna be on.
Yeah,
He's gonna be on.
I feel like it's not too hard to attract talent out of Narbonne, just the area. I feel like it's a very good area for athletes.
I think that homeschool once it get so I talked to Coach Bledsoe and after meeting him and speaking with him for the amount of time that I did, I don't think I think Narbonne is in the perfect hands. Like his
Mm.
approach, his like his ideology, like where he comes from, like bro, the rebuild is in probably the best hands possible. And if anybody could turn that program around and be right back to where they were when before all this shit
Yeah,
happened, they're good. So I can't wait to once we confirm a day, I can't wait to see what he had to face this year and like some of the things he's looking forward to going forward. But you got anything else, man? It's been an hour. We we got we
yeah. A
got
few more
we got it
points.
out. We got it out of our
Yeah, yeah.
system. What else we got going
A
on?
few more points, and then you could wrap it up, and we'll
Yeah, yeah.
log off for the night. But Narbonne, I'm glad to hear they're in good hands. One to watch, class of 28 kid, Jeremiah Vessel. I'm pretty sure with all the
Ooh,
seniors graduating now, he's going to be the only member that was on the championship winning team last year that got sanctioned. So
okay,
pretty interesting, but he's also a really good player. Sanctions aside, he's a really good player. So I'm glad to see Narbonne is in good hands, and I can't wait to see where they go as a program. And we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if their appeal works,
okay.
because they could appeal after their first year of playoff of no non-playoffs, because they were banned from playoffs this year, which is why they didn't appear.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was noted that they can appeal. So we'll see if that appeal gets uplifted or if they will continue to be on suspension. That will definitely dictate just how much they can grow as a program this upcoming season. So that's definitely
Uh,
a headline to watch. In terms of just headlines in general, as I mentioned, I guess the biggest one in terms of transfers, where is DeMar DeZerm going to go? Is he going to stay home, transfer? There's also a few other names that I'm not going to air out yet, but they've been in the rumor mill. If you're connected to schools in the LA area, LA specifically, you probably know who I'm talking about. Head coaching availabilities. We mentioned it. There's a couple schools, not necessarily the biggest schools per se in terms of football pedigree, but they're out there. So, like Coach Ball said, all it takes is one good hire and the talent will be attracted. Like Asante, like Coach Lowe at
yeah.
Carson, like Coach Cisco at Southgate. So that's kind of all I have. Nothing else. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We went for an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, so my last thing before I go out, like uh I'm I'm looking forward to next year, right? And I'm looking to see how well we progress into to next season. So I wish everybody going into this off season nothing but great wishes. To the coaches that I talk to every day, to the coaches that have called me recently, and bless you, bless you, um, bless you. For the coaches that have called to inquire about some stuff, like I'm excited. I'm very excited, no matter what the future holds for anybody. Um, my one message is going into this is if you're a parent or if you're an athlete that is going into a latter part, like an underclassman getting ready to go up. Have your parent talk if you guys don't have huddle, if your school doesn't offer huddle, have your parents advocate to administration to get on your side, man.
Yep.
We need to get our names out and our boys the recognition that they need. So it starts with the parents. Well, if you're an athlete, just mention it to your parent and see if that can start a change. Like LA City section football, we're here. We're on the map. Me and Jay are here to put us on the map. When the coaching, no matter where I'm coaching, no matter where I'm at in the world, LA City section is going to be home. So I hope everybody that loves this particular brand of football as much as me and Jay do, continue putting your efforts forward. Let's make a change. Let's make a difference. And like I said, we're on the map. So let's get these boys out and let's put our boys and let's put LA City back on the map because we are we are worthy of being discussed like the St. John Bosco's, the Mater Days, the Sierra Canyons. No doubt about it. We have some of the best athletes, some of the best coaches in this section, and I feel we deserve the respect and the notoriety that's coming. I feel that it's coming this year. So to everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. Get ready for season 2. I'll give you a sneak peek. Who's going to be the first episode? Only because the other person got sick. Elijah Staples next week, baby. Bam, we in the house. Let's go. Thank you guys all for tuning in to the On the Map podcast. I'm your host, Coach Paul. That handsome young man over there is my co-host, Jay. Shout out to our sponsors, Black Market Chicken
Yes.
and Everywhere Apparel. And until next time, y'all be easy. Peace.